Yeah, welcome to our presentation on Baker Beagle. Second show for today, and in this one we're going to cover how Baker Beagle will help you on audits, certifications, and legal requirements. And for us, a quick introduction we will start with, and then we're going to cover topics like ISO, FICA, PCI, and how Baker Beagle will help you to manage these requirements. So if you have questions during the presentation, just put them in the chat, please, and feel free to join us on our booth afterwards or contact us by the given information at the end of the presentation. Yeah, lots of notification sounds here. Okay, so let's begin. With us about who we are and what we do here with Baker Beagle. And yeah, we are the developers and the inventors of the software called Baker Beagle. So our development team is located here near Cologne in Germany. We have 20 plus years experience in the financial sector, in government, health, public and private sector, in the enterprise area, and we are supporting customers worldwide with audit requirements and with compliant requirements, with legal and also with certification requirements. And what we focus on these, or where we can help you in with these requirements, is several topics that we focus on, and these are backups. Backups, this is our main thing, of course. That's also why our software is called. And we focus, I'll just put on my marker here. We focus on backups. So we not just only monitor them, we keep all the metadata about the backups, when the backup was started, when it was completed, was there an error, and so on. So you can create a proof or an evidence. I'll talk about this later, why this is important. Then we're going to cover your backup server, whether you have an SAP server or if you have, let's say, a networker. We support various vendors, and here we do a permanent health check of these devices, making sure everything is running well. And the same goes for storage devices that are used in commonly backup environments like data domains or isolons. The tape libraries, of course, very important part still of the backup business to ensure media breaks, and what we're seeing more and more, of course, cloud business. We are going to give you a single pane of glass about everything that's related with your backup environment. And that's a very important part. This makes it easy for you to follow your processes and defining, following, and monitoring and checking processes. This is what we help you with, and of course, this is what gives you, what makes it easy for you to reach the compliance level, of course. So let's move on. What do we provide when we look at the left section here, complete control? This gives you a complete overview about everything in your environment, what backups are running, what failures are there, what is the health state of your servers, is there enough disk space available, is there what is the status of your storage device, is there enough space left, what is the forecast, stuff like this. This is out of the box built in. We have reporting on this. We have this in our user interface. Everything for you is there ready out of the box. We create full evidence. This is the, okay, of course, this is not a crime scene investigation here, but it is a backup investigation. We are looking at your backups to see when they were running, what was the errors, who has taken care of issues, where they solved, what is the configuration, what is the setting of the system, when there were changes. That's everything we track 100% automated. And this is what makes it really easy for you to achieve audit and to achieve or to pass audits and to achieve compliance. I have some interesting voices of customers that already use Backup Eagle I want to share with you soon, but let's look at the first here at the right side. Here you see what solutions we currently support. We are also technical partner with SAP, also present in this conference here, and we are also integrating with many enterprise backup solutions. This set on the right side here is growing all the time. We also integrate with things like vCenter and also Hyper-V, even if it's not on the sheet yet, but it's new in the latest upcoming release that we have. And I will tell you soon why this is important also in the sector of compliance. And let's move on to some of the certifications, audits, and legal requirements that we are going to cover here, and where I'm going to show you how Backup Eagle will help you to solve these. And of course, we have customers, we help them with the ISO certifications, various standards, 2701, 9001. Of course, PCI compliance is a very important topic. We see POPIA or FICA here in the African continent very much. TISAX, it's more based on automotive. And if you deal with European countries, if you say, okay, you are in the financial sector, then they usually also have to fulfill the Data Operations and Resilience Act. That's also a very new topic that we have in the EU, but that's spreading out to multiple countries. And what's interesting about all these certifications and legal requirements, Backup Eagle has the same set of features that will help you solve or pass all these audits, compliance, and regulations. So let's go a little deeper in what we see here. For example, we have here POPIA and DPA. That's all protection of personal information. So making sure that your personal information is safeguarded, but this also is a requirement here to prevent damage or destruction of personal information. And how do we prevent this? Of course, we have to make sure that we have a backup of this data. Whether if you do this an on-prem backup, replication, or cloud backup, what we also heard of today, that's not important. Important is that you have a backup and that you have a working backup all the time, and that's what Backup Eagle helps you with. I already told you about DORA. This is the digital operation and resilience, where the EU focuses more on the security and of the continuity resilience of IT and telecommunication operations. For the financial sector, which Backup Eagle supports you on, and Financial Intelligence Center Act. Here, the main goal, that's very interesting, is prevent money laundering. So, but you may ask, okay, what does this have to do with backup? And when you look deeper in this act, you will see that this requires efficient processes and security measures that have to be achieved with something like an IT service or security management in place. And of course, part of this is an effective backup strategy, recovered tests, everything that goes along with this, and effective monitoring, reporting to make sure you follow your processes so you will achieve compliance here. Let's move on to some certifications. Here we have several that we have globally available, like ISO 2701 or SOC2, which are basically standards for information security management systems Like I said before, in these systems, you have to set up rules, you have to follow these rules, and Backup Eagle will help you on this. How Backup Eagle does this, I will show you in a few seconds. Also, same as for ISO 9001. This covers a wider range, of course. It's a quality management standard, and quality management, of course, always touches us here in the IT because it stretches out to all areas of the business. And one very important part of the business, of course, is the IT. And there we have to set up standards in there. So we see often ISO 9001 going together with something like ISO 2701 to achieve the security standards there, or to set up a very good part of the IT in the quality management part here. What's also there for many years and also growing is payment card industry. We see this in many countries where electronic money is the most important way to pay, and this is or almost everything there is covered with the or by the payment industry. And this is a set of rules that you have to follow, and this also covers auditing backups, making sure your systems are running all the time, ensuring restore guarantees. And if you don't follow these rules, then the worst thing that can happen to you is that you are being excluded from the payment community. So you can no longer handle any money transaction, which effectively means that you are going out of business. That's just some small information here what can happen. Of course, all the other government or these legal regulations, if you don't follow them, you can also have very high complications for your business. So if you are forced to, like in the financial sector, to follow things like FICA or DORA, it's a must that you follow them or that you implement these systems. And Backup Eagle can help you with this. So how can Backup Eagle help you with? Let's move on here. What we can do, of course, we can help you to improve your backup quality. Backup quality is very important to follow these regulations, because if you are having lots of failed backups and lots of not running backups, then you will not pass any compliance tests, of course. And that's what Backup Eagle helps you with. Maybe you remember our first presentation today. There was a very good demonstration where we improved the backup quality by finding holes or gaps or systems without backups, but also how to monitor the backups right to make sure you catch all errors there. Next thing is that you have to ensure data retention. Of course, if you remember things like that, you have to make sure that personal data is protected. Then you don't have to protect this usually for 1 day or 2, but usually for a longer period of time, let's say a month or a year. Backup Eagle will check your data retention settings frequently. And if they do not match your company's policies, you will get alerted. And same thing goes for detecting backup anomalies. So that was covered in the presentation before. If you have backups that are not running anymore, which can happen as do faulty configurations. If you have systems that are not in the backup, then it's hard to follow compliance or hard to reach compliance. Backup Eagle will detect this for you, report this, and you can easily integrate it in your daily or in your processes, so you are safe here to have everything in the backup. This not only means here detecting anomalies, but it also ensures that you have the backup of all your assets. So anomalies also detects here if you have backups that are growing too much or that are empty. That's what we're getting out of the backup metadata and backup history data that we collect. So we have also a thing that's compliance reporting OOTB. If you ask what OOTB means, this is out of the box. Out of the box means when you use Backup Eagle as a software, you will get compliance reports ready built, and you can then use them and show them your auditors and your certification staff. You can talk to them. They are very easy to handle. I will show you some in the demo part here. Processing document or process documentation is of course a very important part in every audit and certification. This is what's built in Backup Eagle. You can document when an issue occurs. Let's say if a backup fails, what you did, who did it, and when it was solved the issue. This also is ensured that we integrate multiple backup vendors. So we will make sure for you it's no matter what backup tool you are using, we can cover it. We can integrate it in the process to achieve compliance. And it's very important for us because we see many companies not only using one backup tool, but multiple. Let's say if you have SEP, you use SEP CSAM for your on-prem backup, and you use the SEP cloud backup that we've seen before to protect your Microsoft 365 accounts. We'll give this to you in one view, so you have a single pane of glass, always being sure that your backup covers everything and that you can prove that your processes are working and that your backups are there, and you will achieve compliance easily. We create also a backup documentation. That means you can rely on that we are creating a set of documents that proves what were the settings of your backup tool every day. So you will not only have this and can use this as an attachment for your backup concepts, for example. You can also see what changed in there. And this then comes over here to ensuring data retention, because when we see, okay, data retention was reduced from, let's say, 30 days to 2 days, this might indicate a problem or even a criminal attack. And we can alert this. We can forward this not only to quality management, we can also forward this to SIEM systems or to your ticketing systems, so that an alert is raised and you can act before, let's say, all the data is expired and then your system is going to be encrypted. That's also part of our anomaly detection to point you at this and to prevent criminals to encrypt your data here. And of course, all of this improves your data resilience. So it's not just that we are doing all these things to help you pass the audits easily. Of course, that's the case here, but it's also will improve your resilience, because if you have a backup, and we always say if everything else fails, if your antivirus fails, if your intrusion fails, backup is your last line of defense, that you have to make sure that it's there and that it's working. And Backup Eagle will help you to improve your data resilience and make sure that you have a backup if everything else failed. Okay, let's move on. Here are some customer references. As you can see, we have customers around the world. These are financial, from the financial sector, from the public sector, healthcare, education. So we are located in every business sector. I always say, okay, that's the case because every sector should better do backup and then monitor it with Backup Eagle. So we are experienced in all these sectors. And when we look at some words from our customers, specifically on the time on the backup on the preparation for audits and compliance and certifications. I picked some words from a customer here. It's a bank in Germany, and the responsible person told me that the preparation time for their last audit was reduced from several days to exactly 11 minutes. So I always imagine, what did he do? Did he put out his stopwatch? And but as you can see, this is a very dramatic or drastic reduction of the efforts that you have, and you can easily pass then these certifications. We have one customer that's a payment card provider here in Germany. They are very heavily audited. They have many certifications, and that they have approximately 20 per year. And the customer said, okay, now with Backup Eagle, he achieved it that he can only show the backup report, handle it over to the different auditors, and they say, okay, looks fine, running well. Like last year, everything is gone, everything is set for this audit. And another customer told me that the auditor called and asked if they are still using this Backup Eagle tool, and the customer already prepared in his mind what kind of reports do they want, what should I send over. But the auditor just said, okay, that's fine. Then we are done here. So they are so confident with using the software that even that also the usage of a software that specifically monitors backups here in this area and help you with the audits is a very strong signal for the auditors that you are very concerned about this area, and that gives you lots of plus points here to pass audits and compliance checks. And we also have one customer here that's a very large customer, worldwide customer, which runs about 300,000 backups per day. They have about 30,000 physical and virtual systems. And they, before using Backup Eagle, they had a failure rate about 1%, but 1% in a large environment is still 3,000. With Backup Eagle, we reduced this to 1,000 because we can also identify false positives. And that's not, of course, only a very, very high reduction in the amount of work that they have to do, but it's a very, very good improvement in the SLA score, because when you say, okay, I have an error rate from 1% and I reduced it just by eliminating false positives in my backup, then I dropped it to a third of a percent. That's of course a very, very big step forward here to raising the quality. Okay, let's move on to our live demonstration. And in this live demonstration, I will point you at the topics that I covered, like improving backup quality, ensuring data retention. And I'll show you in our software where you can easily find these helpers or these features that will bring you very easily through a status of compliance in the audit for backup and restore. Okay, I'll switch over to my Backup Eagle demo server here. And the first thing that we'll see here is the dashboard of our software. An important part, this software is hosted in your data center or in your private cloud. That's very important for us that you can do this, because that's a very important step. Then you can say, okay, I'll give no data outside, and that's a very important part in regulations like protecting personal data, like FICA or GDPR. So you can say, okay, I have this data under my control, and it's not going out to any partner, and therefore you have no things to deal with here when it comes to prove that you know where your data is here. So first thing we do is we improve, of course, backup quality. When you look at the client control section here, or if you look at the dashboard again, you see we have here the client operations, and we clearly highlight what backups failed and what backups are not started. So we have this traffic light coloring here: green, everything is fine; red, something failed; yellow is backup is missing. And this will give you a clear view on what went wrong. And if you dig in deeper here, then you can see what systems failed. These are highlighted in red here. And then you can go on and make sure that you, I have to reset this here, that you fix these errors. So you will improve your backup quality by a very easy error checking process. So you don't have to check mails any longer. You don't have to read through endless reports. You can look at here, you can say, okay, give me only the failed backups or the non-started backups, the missing backups. You will see them at one view. And you can also have the things in here that are very, very high requirements for audits and certifications. You can always say, I will go back and I want to have this information, let's say from 2 months ago. So the thing is, most backup systems keep the metadata about the backups only as long as they keep the retention for this data. So when the data is gone, the retention is expired, data is gone, metadata is deleted. We here in Backup Eagle, we grab the metadata and keep it as long as your compliance requires it. By default, it's half a year. It's very easy to set up for 1 year, which from our experience is the least time frequency required to pass audits, but that's just one setting in our configuration. And then you can keep the information when a backup was running, so the backup history for a year or 2 or whatever you like. It just depends how much space you want to allocate to our database. So this is a very important part, keeping historical data on backups. Proofs, so you can prove that you always have a continuously process of doing backups. And what you can also do, you can also make annotations in here. You can say, I have this backup here, and this is failed. Time limit here, it's a German word. And I can say, okay, I can check it in here. I can tag it and I say, okay, I contacted network team, issue was solved. So then you can even say, I want to acknowledge this here, say okay. And then you have this acknowledged, and this comment you can always recall again, so you can see what you've done to failed backups. That's a built-in tool. You can use it to prove what you've done, and also this data is kept along with the backup metadata information, so you can access it anytime here. So next thing, of course, backup anomalies are also detected. You can see these yellow messages here. Some of them, when I pick it up, you can see here on the historical view, backup was running fine until the 11th. Then it suddenly stopped, and now Backup Eagle is complaining there is no longer a backup running here. So this was one of the parts we saw in the DORA requirements, but also in other requirements, ensuring continuously data protection. And this is what helps you here, because when you turn off a backup in your backup tool, the backup tool is perfectly fine with this because it thinks you know what you're doing. It will save you space. It will save you backup time. The backup tool is also fine. It's not complaining, but it will create a huge problem for you if you want to try restore, because then you have no data. Backup Eagle will protect you from this and will also give you a check mark on making sure that I have continuous backups on certifications and audit requirements here. So the same goes, we move over here to our host detect feature, ensuring backup of all assets. this is a component that scans your environment. It checks for every systems that are on your network. It can connect to various sources, like it can connect to your vCenter. That's a topic I covered before. It can connect to your Hyper-V. It can even ping network range. It can access your domain name server. You can even feed it with a CSV file. So it is at various sources, and then it, as Backup Eagle, connects to your backup servers, grabs all the backups from there. It also sees what backups are running, and if you have scenarios like these here, so every line here is a system that we found on a network. You see with the host name, with the IP address, and the red ones are the one that have no backup. So you can easily see that you have to act here. You can of course exclude them here in Backup Eagle, and you can even say, okay, I'll have to add them to my backup as soon as possible. So I have to make sure that there is a backup, and this process you can also have in reports, will guarantee you that you are continuously monitoring your environment to make sure that the backups are there. Let's move over to reporting. We have reports, let's say compliance reports like this one here. I can just run it, will not take that long. And this gives you an overview about all the success rates for 1 month in a table and also in a chart. You have these audit compliance reports like this one, which gives you for each backup an information if the backup was completed. And here in this area, you'll also see the commands I just put in. So we have special reports only focused on compliance and auditing. And of course, we have reports which gives you very good overview about the monthly state of all your backups, which then usually are used to communicate with auditor staff. So you can give them a report like this and tell them, okay, every box is a successful backup when it's green. Of course, you have to make sure that's not looking that bad like in my environment here. And so you can make sure that you pass the audit easily. But if you have a reporting like this in place, this can answer the questions, give me the information, what kind of backups you are doing, how often they are running, what are the success rates, give me this information, let's say from 3 months ago, no problem, just access the data here from 3 months ago. You can even either recreate a report or you can just pick the old report. If you increase the report retention here, that's no problem. So when we go over to the final part, when it comes to the part of documentation, then we also see that you can have a documentation of your configuration setting within Backup Eagle. So let's move over here. So here we have some special kind of reports. You see they are created every day. This is the daily creation at 10 a.m. here. And when you go down here, you see we also have reports that are going back 2 years ago now. And that's, of course, we have some intelligent retention of the reports here, which helps you to keep up or to store backup reports up to 3 years. Of course, you can increase this. This is very easy. And what you can do with these reports, you can prove what are the settings of your backup systems are. When I go to one of our SEP servers here, and I say, okay, let's check the SEP detail settings in here. And then I can see, okay, this is for all the host names I have, okay, what's the host name? We have some platform information. We see, okay, this is a virtual machine backup here. When we scroll down, we see some things like when when is the scheduling? Here's my schedule. It's running every day at a very odd time, 4:12 p.m. but here you can prove things like what systems are in my backup, when they are backupped, what are the backup retention, and where is the data stored to. And these reports are created daily, so you can have a history of the reports in here, and you will have this automatically out of the box. Just one example, when I switch over to client control and I go to the server section, here you see I have various servers in here. I have Veeam, Spectrum Protect, I have SEP, Apollon in here, Networker, and so on. So many servers. And when you go to the compliance section and you have to prove that you're also monitoring the health state of the server, we also have this in here. This is health monitoring of the servers, which gives you things like, look at this here, have a look at our SEP server, for example. Then you see here things like data store fill level, client access state, data store status, so everything that you need to know. Mostly important is, of course, the fill level usually, where you can see how many storage is still left. And we also have this in our dashboards here, but then that's an operational topic where you have also forecasts about how the data store capacity is used now and how the data store is filled and how long it will reach until it gets full. Okay, this was a very quick flyover over Backup Eagle with very short touching how it can help you to solve audit and requirement needs. So I say thank you for your time. If you have questions, then please visit us at our booth or contact us, contact the guys from NETCB to arrange a session with you and them, and then we are more than happy to show you what Backup Eagle can do for you in terms of audit and compliance legal requirements, but also in the case of backup reporting and monitoring and helping you saving time and getting more insights on your backup environment. Thanks for your time and hope to see you soon. Bye bye.